Stephen Miller is going nuclear. Quote, this is not fringe anymore. Tape after tape, federal workers, bureaucrats, educators, professors, nurses, people celebrating and cheering the assassination of Charlie Kirk. There is a domestic terrorist movement growing in this country. Yeah, dude, it's been growing for like 10 years. Absolutely has been growing for 10 years. And I honestly thought when Trump's assassination attempt happened, I thought that was going to absolutely just be the straw that broke the camel's back. I really thought that was the moment, and it wasn't. Like, the right still didn't. There, no riots, no smashing, no looting, no takeovers, no militia forming. Like, none of that shit. None of that shit happened when that happened. The right voiced their anger, mainly online, and, you know, they showed up to the ballot boxes, and Trump got the popular majority. So, like, this absolutely isn't growing just with Charlie Kirk. It's just getting worse and worse. It's been growing for a decade. Anyway, here, I'll play this.
Where the left calls people enemies of the Republic, calls them fascists, says they're Nazis, says they're evil, says they have to be removed, and then prints their addresses. What do you think they're trying to do?
People.
They are trying to inspire someone to murder them. That is their objective. That is their intent. And when you see...
Yeah, and the politicians, they're careful with their words because they're politicians, they're psychos, and they know how to speak to the public in a way that keeps them out of trouble. But they won't say go kill somebody. They'll say show up to their house and protest. That's what they'll say. And they're all for doxing people that they don't agree with. They'll share their address, their phone number, their employer. They'll show all of that, and they'll call on people to peaceably protest, to exercise your First Amendment right, and tell them that you're not happy with what they're doing. It's the language that the politicians are using, but the very next sentence after they say that, they'll use buzzwords like fascist and Nazi and misogynist and xenophobe and all that bullshit.
See online, Sean, as we've seen for the last few days, tape after tape after tape of federal workers, bureaucrats, staffers in the Pentagon, educators, professors, healthcare workers, nurses, celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Well, and you know what? What they've done with federal workers before, like with the attempted assassination with Trump, I remember I believe it was a Secret Service agent who voiced very anti-Trump rhetoric after that happened, saying like, damn, if only he was an inch to the right or whatever the fuck they said. What they ended up doing, they suspended that Secret Service agent for a year because once they finally fired them after a year, or no, hold on. They didn't even fire them. They, quote unquote, retired or resigned or whatever. But because they weren't fired, they were simply suspended. They were able to take their full pension, which was conveniently only a year away. So that's what they're doing with a lot of these federal workers too. They won't fire them. They'll say that they've been, like, quote unquote, permanently suspended. And what that means is that they're just going to hold them off to the side until they can get a full pension paid for by the taxpayers, paid by you and me. And that, I'm sure, is what they're going to end up doing for a lot of these people that are getting called out who work in the government. Because remember, the vast, vast majority of people who work for the government who vote, they vote Democrat in the federal government.
These are radicalized people. There is a domestic terrorism movement in this country. And let me tell you something I'd not share with anybody, but the last message that Charlie Kirk gave to me before he joined his creator in heaven was he said that we have to dismantle and take on the radical left organizations in this country that are fomenting violence. That was the last message that he sent me before that assassin stole him from all of us. And we are going to do that under President Trump's leadership. I don't care how. It could be a RICO charge, a conspiracy charge.
Right.
Conspiracy against the United States.
Yeah.
Insurrection.
100%.
But we are going to do what it takes to dismantle the organizations and the entities that are fomenting riots, that are doxing, that are trying to inspire terrorism, and that are committing acts of wanton violence. It has to stop. And my message is to all of the domestic terrorists in this country spreading this evil hate, you want us to live in fear? We will not live in fear, but you will live in exile.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that fucking Soros Foundation or George Soros, all that bullshit, the billions of dollars that they spend on on what they call activism and protesting. That's what they're doing. They're paying for terrorism. They're funding terrorism. That's exactly what they're doing. When they're handing out people's addresses of those who they don't agree with so they can show up and spray paint their garages with like swastikas and fascists and all this shit, that is fucking terrorism. It's political terrorism. It's exactly what it is. Because none of these people are who they say that they are, accusing them of being a Nazi. No, they're not a fucking Nazi. They're just brainwashed and full-on retarded. And they literally believe everything they fucking hear, which comes from their professors and their teachers. It probably in many places, especially blue states, it starts when they're really young, probably even in elementary school in some cases, especially today. And yeah, it's got to stop. And I hope they do that. I mean, look, they were able to shut down USAID. And that was, how much money were they spending annually? Like 50, 60 billion dollars just in that department, organization, whatever the hell you call it. So they were able to shut that down.